everyone. We're here at Olowalu at our Regenerative Education Centers where we're doing the build out of tiny homes. We've brought in some resources for our community that we want to pay forward and get to folks, and that's in the form of tiny homesteads. Tiny homesteads meaning a deck with a bathroom and a kitchen and black water and gray water and electricity, so that they're completely contained and they're not really taxing from the municipal system, so that we can give them to folks so they can get them back on their land so they can stay in Lahaina. For now, maybe they can put them in Auntie's yard or wherever, different creative places. We have a list of people that have lands available. We're giving these to folks out of here, and in order to do that, we need to rely on volunteers and a little bit of organization. And so right now, you've been probably wondering what we're doing behind the containers. It's taken us people way smarter than myself. I'm not a builder, I'm a farmer, but I have made the space available so that people can store things, so that we can build these things, have the tools available, and as we build them, we're giving them to families as they find the places to put them on. That's one of the challenges. There's all these different ideas. We all need to come together and think of it as a community, and how can we take care of that small gap, the interim housing. That's what I'm trying to get going here. I want to point out I'm a farmer first. The way we've done this, we haven't compromised the land. We haven't compacted anything. We haven't pulled any roots out of the ground. Where we're looking at right now, 3 years from now, hopefully all these folks will have taken these homes onto their land, and this will be a grove of hulu trees, trying to set an example for what should be growing on this side. We teach people about regenerative agriculture, so we're going to take you on a tour and we're going to show you how when something has been destroyed by a legacy of bad agriculture and people being disconnected from nature, can actually be repaired through regenerative agriculture, through observation, patience, and consistency, and bring it in our community to share and actually like the values that we want to put forward, which is Aina first, taking care of what all the people before left as a legacy and not disrespecting it. So those are our missions here, to try to feed people and to try to give away as many tiny homes as we can. This is a kitchen unit that comes along with some containers that we retrofit and we make look beautiful and functional. We put them on a deck with a roof over it. We put it on concrete blocks with earth anchors so we don't compromise our agricultural land. We're not housing people here. We're using this as a place to show folks what they can get. The families can come help build on them so they can make them how they want them, and then they can take part in it. And then when their land is ready, they can put it on their land, and they have a kitchen to cook out of, and a bathroom to use, and a container to sleep in, even if they did get an air rental somewhere else. And then when they're done with it, people are like, where are they going to go? They could turn this into a shave ice thing. They could give it to someone on Hawaiian homestead lands. We have a huge homeless population that needs to be addressed. But these containers are strong enough where they should be able to get a container permit and have it as an ohana unit for part of their family. That's the way people are living anyway. It's hurricane resistant, you can close the doors on it. So maybe I'm ignorant to the facts of what it should be, but in my mind, we brought in the resources to do this, so we're gonna pay it forward. And we're gonna farm here, we're gonna make these things, and we're gonna give them to our community. While at the same time, we're farming and trying to bring some attention to how our land needs to be treated.
And this is the building site, right? Like you said, you're going to build it here. The families can help, so they can participate in the learning process, right?
Yeah, so every Saturday we have a volunteer day where there's people building and there's also people farming. We're hiring 4 individuals through our nonprofit that have been displaced from the fires to help teach them and give them a different job opportunity and teach them how to farm with us. So we have that going. We're going to run a food truck. We're going to buy food as well as provide all the food from the farm and give it to our community through the nonprofit. We're not getting paid for this. We're not making money out of this. This is something that I found a creative way to bring in resources and pay forward to my community, while perhaps also putting forward some momentum of ideas of regenerative agriculture, which is what we need in our community right now. We need food security. We need to be able to take care of the land. And I think that takes care of the community. So I know my answers are long-winded, but I just want to share that.
No, it's great.
You said that you've got a website that people can go to apply to be a volunteer?
Yes, the website is called recenters.org. RECENTERS.org. And that's the nonprofit here in That's our nonprofit that we're putting this all together with.
And if they want to volunteer or learn these skill sets, they can sign up right there on the website,
they
correct?
Can sign up right on the website. There's a place you can go to donate to the site. You can volunteer on the site. You can come and be part of our educational program. But that's how you get to us.
Great.
So start walking around and
yeah,
check out
absolutely.
Check it out.
So, Manu, the jig's pretty cool, right? Because look, bam, the frames from there to there, and then those are frames for floors. And in a few minutes, they're floored up already.
Wow.
And then the walls just go bam, bam, bam. They stand up like this right here.
Holy cow. So this is phase 1 after the jig, if you put it together. Phase 2, board it up.
The bottom, the
wall
plumbing
up the
comes out
frame.
of the bottom to go to the gray water tanks. And it just makes it really simple. In the beginning, we brought in some things like
The gray water system. You guys see how they're building that?
And if you step inside this Mono, I'm assuming maybe the things you have are coming or something similar to this.
Camera
So
on!
how big? How much square feet is this?
It's
8 by 10? 20? It's 20? 8 by
It's
20?
pretty cool in here.
This is like a studio.
And so this
is a bachelor pad.
Stencil it. This is what we want to do to the containers. Something similar to this. And that way they're super cool. And if you think about it, it's just a bedroom.
Wow,
So
even
if
under
you're
this
even a
hot
young
sun,
family,
yeah.
a big
Just like
bed, a little
Finland.
spot for the kid, a nice deck,
works.
This
a
works.
bathroom, one shower. That's how we live on Molokai.
This works.
No brainer.
I like it.
Design the outside.
That's a bachelor pad right there.
In Hawaii, we
daughter would love
don't
to
we don't
paint
live inside. We sleep inside. We live outside.
We work
sleep
out there.
inside.
That's right. Hey,
So you
yo.
hear everybody talking about, oh, I'm going to live in a box. No, I think the idea to let people make those choices. You want to live on a nice deck with a bathroom and a kitchen and a few containers that are hurricane proof. You don't got to go to the shelter when the fire comes or the hurricane. You got a steel building to protect your family in. You can take charge. I'm just saying, a homestead means all of that to me. So we also have these storage containers here.
Pods.
We've
Yep,
been
yep.
able to get some of those out. Manu, this is what you're grabbing right here. So we want to make those available for folks.
Yeah, definitely for storage for your tool supplies, so no one how you know your stuff.
Yeah. We also there's some stuff stored in there right now, so we hold supplies
Portable
for others
supplies.
so they can distribute it.
Makes sense.
So we've been trying to use the storage we have serve others while we're in the unit. These are on loan to us, so we'll loan them to folks where they can use them, and then when they're done, they can move it forward. We're bringing in the containers 10 at a time, and then the plan is to build out the containers 10 at a time, design the homesteads, build the modular decks, and then take them wherever they need to go, or possibly build the modular decks on site with the same program. But to set it up, then we can literally start getting people in houses.
Didn't you mention that you need assistance with trailers, people
Trailers
to
for sure,
to help
underneath
deliver
the
this?
containers, so that they could pull up on trailers, which would make them street legal. And that's actually the Department of Transportation is what allows you to put a container somewhere. And what better way to not have a signature? We can just roll it there, roll it out, and plant an ulu tree later on. You know what I mean? If we think that way.
Right, we don't need a permit, right?
I'm not an expert on permits.
'Cause it's
but
on
as
wheels.
far as
You don't
I
need a
know
permit.
is if you have it on wheels and it's registered with the state, then you are allowed to put it on ag lands and other areas in temporary situations. Now, when they talk about an emergency proclamation, what's more emergency than like getting people into houses, right?
Ayo.
And like everyone's fighting, oh, I wouldn't live this way, I wouldn't live that way. Maybe if you're the rich guy up on the hill, you wouldn't live that way. But all the people I know in Lahaina, all the local people I know, are stoked at the chance to live in something like this. So I'll take the criticism head on. I don't care. I'm telling you, the people I know, they will live this way and be grateful for it until we can get our houses built back up again.
Solid,
So
Eddie, solid.
This is some of the containers right here that you've seen in there that pop up.
Yep.
This is what the way they come. We got these on the ground for like $7,000 each. So if we can get numbers like that,
So these pop up here?
that's that right there. I could get
Wow.
100 of these in place for $7,000.
7,000, the little mini bachelor pad we saw over there,
Over there
8 by
we have,
20, 7 Gs.
Yep, 60 pallets of tile. Inside the container, there's 250 brand new air conditioners.
Holy
that'll
shit.
go on these containers, so you're not in a hot box. You got a nice deck and an air-conditioned bedroom.
Wow, living life.
Geodesic domes, you've been playing with that as well.
Geodesic domes.
We're not going to talk about those on camera.
Well,
I
folks,
don't
you
wanna-
know
Well, you
what
guys need more
about
funding
geodesic
for
domes
housing?
then?
Oh,
The
yes,
trailers, the
definitely.
housing.
Get more of this stuff over here.
Absolutely, that's what we're trying to do. I've been able to bring in a lot of donations, but I'm buying these and bringing them in. I'm buying everything I do. I buy it out of the money we brought with the nonprofit, but also I want people to know I've spent all of my own money out of my own pocket as well. And people don't understand what a nonprofit means when you don't really take in a salary, and any money you do bring out of it for gas or anything you put straight back into it. I don't know if people really understand what that means. So to run something that's for the people is actually for the people. So all I am is a manager of it, a steward of it, and trying to use whatever savvy I have with my systems in farming to hopefully organize all these brilliant carpenters and incredible volunteers and help us as a community give back to our community.
Ew.
It's that simple right there.
Wow.
So let's look at the farming aspect
Yes.
of what
Absolutely.
we're doing here.
Can we copy you? Do you have a brother?
No. So I'm pretty proud of it because if you actually consider the time we've been here, we took it from that
From the bush of fields,
bushes to the thing where we're getting stuff done.
clearing the land,
And now
putting a
if you look
foundation.
Right here in this hill alone,
bananas.
there's over 1,000 taro. There's
Carlo!
30 banana stumps. Last year, out of 5 bananas like that, I did 3,500 pounds out of
Holy
5
cow.
banana starts in 18 months. Right now,
Wow.
there's almost 40 around this berm, and this is what I teach people about agriculture. I use wood chip, and I inoculate with mycelium, our local pepeao. It's a native mushroom to here. So I take that and I inoculate all the piles with it. I throw in earthworms and other creatures, and then I pile the wood chips so that in no time, the wood chips, they go through a dry period first. They bleed off some of the nitrogen so they're not hot and they're not a fire hazard. And then once we start adding water to them and we put them on the soil, in no time, you'll start to see mycelium starting to take hold. And once that mycelium, I'm going to show you in the back where it's been going for a few months and what something like this is going to look like in 2 or 3 months from now. It's going to blow people's minds. And I don't say that out of no ego or bragging, but I'm bragging about Mother Nature right now.
Ew.
Mother Nature will really show you what's up when you really just listen to her language and you plant things accordingly. There'll be, out of this zone right here alone, I'll probably do 60,000 pounds of food. And most of it, what's culturally significant for us, the voyaging plants. Kalo, ko, uala, you know, just right down the line, all the things that are turmeric, pu'olena, coconuts, but also some mangoes, papayas, and the abundance of that together. We can feed people, we can make people feel good about their food. The word ethnobotany is really important to understand how culture develops around food and how much a part of identity it is. So to bring people back to the land and bring back people back to the food that's from it, with the ancestors right above us looking down, how are you going to act? You know what I mean?
How you gonna?
You better have some respect.
Mr. Garcia's
some-
local, if you can tell.
And some humility. I've been lucky to be here, and I humbly say, you know, with all humility, that I'm lucky to be as dirty as I am and have lived as close to the land as I have. And so all I can do as my payment for being here back is try to pay that forward to maybe parts where it's been lost or disconnected.
Well,
So
people will
that's
definitely
like the
feel your
future.
heart, Eddie, because I can feel your heart from
Yes,
here. I'm
sir.
sure Manu does. Lanu felt it first when he came here, Luna. And people are really going to love this.
I hope so. I hope people can come and get their hands in the dirt and see what's happening. So let's keep walking.
Absolutely.
Let's see how we take a place from being filled with tons and tons of trash. And I'm talking plastic. I'm
Yep.
talking cars. I'm talking. Yeah, sorry. I'll get that right now. Cars, trash. What was here is what we had is this legacy of
We got
bad
Manu here and
agriculture.
Doggy.
Hey, real quick, can I ask about support global warming? Tell us about the global warming.
Earthworm, Darwin, was an interesting character. He was put in prison for the end years of his life because of his beliefs about evolution.
Evolution. Yep.
And because of that, where he was imprisoned, he studied the field behind him on the movement and interaction of several species of earthworms. And he realized that they actually move hundreds of tons per acre around every year. They are the tillers of the land.
Wow.
They move all the microbes around. They're just a super important part of it. So to me, earthworms play an important part. Although we don't necessarily have native earthworms here, there are some areas where they can really help. And we need to speed some things up. They are naturalized here already. So to be able to use them to help give native plants a grab and also food security, it's a lot better than chemical fertilizers. It's a lot better than soil that's like dust eroding out of the mountains. And even with what's going on with the land, I acknowledge any land in Hawaii was stolen from the Hawaiians, period. And if we own any of it, or if we have the chance for stewardship of it, we better really do that. We better really have good stewardship of it. And so I just want to say that straight up. With all
agree.
due respect, I'm here to take care of the land, to keep it safe from fires, to keep it safe from erosion, winding up smothering our reefs, and to teach people a relationship to it and how important that is. So I just want to make that clear what I'm doing here in my humility with it.
Damn, man, you make me want to buy you a case of beer just to say thank you. You're making this Hawaiian
See all
feel.
my pig prints right there? So every week I shoot a pig with a bow and stick him in the smoker.
Really?
Yeah, we got the smoker.
With a
down
bow?
here. Yeah, I got a crossbow.
Wow.
So we have our regular, this is our refrigerator right here. Right now it's a bunch of invasive trees. In the next few weeks we're going to chip all this down and plant a lot more food in here. And then you get into the area where you're going to start to see some change, and you're really going to see the legacy that was left here, unfortunately. Everywhere around you you're going to see black plastic. Because when I was a kid, this was all cane field. And all they would do is every time they grew the cane, they would burn the field and they would just kill
Rubber?
the plastic pipes. Visco water pipes. So everywhere.
Oh my God, what a bunch of bastards.
Left it in the ground and then redid it again.
So you're going to see
Oh
how
my
we
God.
take something from something like this to what it's going to look like in the back in no time. And this is what we started with. It's running away to the sky.
Dry
When the
soil,
water
arid.
hits it, there's plastic everywhere. So months and
truth.
months of putting your head down and
Can't
pulling
even pull that
trash
out
out.
because it's so deep. So
Damn.
many others.
That's $1,000 per littering fine. What the hell?
Crazy, yeah?
Ridiculous. They get away with this cookot.
How many years? About
Right, decades?
100 years.
Well, we weren't even born yet and we got
Crazy, huh?
It's nuts.
Yeah, it really is, man.
Well, this looks like a different paradise.
Well, so it'll start to change. Right here is the first phase of what's been in the second phase back there. And you can see there's trucks. There's still trash that's coming out. And I've been cleaning this for months now. This was all giant invasive trees and whatnot. And a lot of brush. I had a lot of help from some other folks helping me clear this as well for some of the composting we're doing. Chemo over there at Truth Excavation, they were really amazing.
Shout out to
They
Chemo.
helped set a lot of this place up once when the disaster happened. So I teach about composting. You'll notice these berms everywhere.
Yep.
These berms are when I've been composting in my dry stages for a year already. And now I'm just putting water on them and planting them just like we are the front
And the
berm.
front one, right?
And then every one of these berms will have hundreds of papaya trees.
Wow.
Taro, thousands and thousands of taro plants, squash, all sorts of other things. And I'm going to show you some mounds in the back that look just like these mounds no more than 7 months ago. Nothing was planted in the back besides the big trees. And all the big trees, including these coconut trees and all the green stuff you see back there, 2 years ago, most of that stuff was just little branches with a leaf here and there, pretty much dead because it was enshrouded by this big trees here, Opiuma. And that, all of this, all the way down to the ocean was Opiuma. And so chipping it and taking it and putting it in the berms, composting, putting the earthworms in them, this will be right here over 150,000 pounds of food right here you see around you.
Wow.
Well over that. In that one small area there. So
Dang.
let's keep walking down into this way. Her feet will be able to cool off in a minute too back here. She'll be stoked.
150,000 pounds of
Oh yeah, here,
food.
let's just go this way.
This is amazing, people. So if you're free, come on down. You can go to their website, check them out. They definitely need more hands in the lands, so you guys can learn to appreciate and learn the skill sets. Bring the kids out. They can learn how to plant, farm, compost, play with the worms. And you can support this beautiful mission for the people, by the people. And we're right here in Maui.
Can't really see in here, but if you look real careful, you see all in front of this berm is vetiver grass. There's taro, there's bananas, there's tea leaf. And we're only now putting water on it and just planted it with the volunteers last week. What will happen on this mound is it'll get wood chips put all over the top of it now, and it'll look like the mounds I'm going to show you in the back here. These mounds, every 30 feet, will have breadfruit trees on them. And so this will become a forest of breadfruit trees all on the perimeter. The amount of food that the breadfruit trees will surpass, the breadfruit trees alone by the 7th year will probably do upward of 2,000 pounds a tree. We're using the mana ulu, which is the maoli, which is the Hawaiian ulu, which I think is really important as well for people to know. And then I've been working on this for 18 months as a total on this land, and I'm one guy.
18 months?
I really don't have a lot of help with this. I've had some excavators here and there. I have a small excavator. So I'm halfway through my coconuts right now. I need to do a lot more trimming on these. But here, let's walk around this way over here.
I think we have to call our Tongan and Samoan ohana.
And what I want to point out is how in just a few months, the land's going to go from this dusty mess to rich, black, living soil.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what we need, boys and girls.
You guys know of soil, some of the dirt is dry. Like in China, they don't compost.
Because they've been left after they've been used. They've been used, taken from, and nothing given back. And we've seen that too much. Enough is enough already.
That's true.
If we're going to take, we need to give back. And right now, we need to give back tenfold from what we take. And that's how we ensure that our grandchildren will have land to farm. That they'll understand what it's like that our food comes from the earth. Instead of this giant field that some corporation doesn't care what they throw in it, doesn't care about the land, doesn't care about the future. They care about the dollar bill. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is actually understanding and caring about the land. The clearing that you see in front of you, when I started here, was all 30-foot tall trees, trash, dust just like this, plastic sticking out of the ground, and a bunch of trees we didn't even know what they were because they were so enshrouded with other trees, not a blade of grass on the ground, only just piles of dust. And through just moving mulch around and setting the mulch around, you'll start to see the difference as soon as you walk into here, and you'll notice the temperature change.
It was cooler back there. I felt over there was cooler.
A riparian zone, actually.
Yeah, and as soon as you come into here, you'll pretty much instantaneously you'll feel the transpiration. It'll cool off 10 degrees right here.
It sure does, yeah, right.
Isn't that amazing? You gotta feel that.
Feel like I'm back in haiku right now.
Yeah, you get chicken skin when you come in here. Just 'cause it
you wouldn't believe it's hot as heck out there on the streets.
Yeah, look at this.
And then you come right here.
Yeah, so this place here, they grafted a bunch of trees. As fate would have it, I sold the guy some of these grafts from Molokai 18 years ago. That's how I know the age of the grove. And then the fire hit through here, and then it went into disarray. And then it was like a lot of homeless people and dysfunctionality was going on back here. And then when I came, like I said, these trees were sticks. This season, my first season, 18 months after I started, I had over 30,000 pounds of mangoes on the trees.
Wow.
The storm took them all. So we lost the whole crop. 15 different strains. Like this tree right here has Raposa, Champagne, and Mapaleo. That's one of the grafts that I sold him.
Wow.
We have another big Mapaleo. I sold him when I was in Mapaleo on Molokai. I did a bunch of grafts there. And I sold a bunch of these to him way back when. You couldn't walk from here to that sunspot in a day. You had to chainsaw your way through it. And these things have spines all over them. So it came from this blockade of and massive amounts of trash in here, dumpsters that went out of here. And that's what people left. And, instead of knowing, wow, there's a lot of good in here. If we manage this out, let's see what it looks like. So, let's take a little walk through here.
Thank you, Eddie, for everything that you do.
And grafting is a beautiful art craft to combine the different parts of plants to make together.
We got
pua'a. We got pua'a in the house.
We do little farm-to-table dinners down here.
Nice.
And where this was, like I said before, I've trimmed them in different measures so they still produce a lot of fruit. This is what the piles turn into. This was like a 10-foot pile here not that long ago. And then we'll go take a little tour around this pile. So a lot of the trees that were enshrouding this forest here that I cut and I put into piles, it's right here.
Wow.
And on this hill alone, I'll probably grow, I don't know, a couple thousand pounds of kabocha squash just right here alone.
Jeez.
And around this, we've already pulled off hundreds of pounds of carrots, beets.
And they accelerate the process of the wood breaking down, is it?
It's the process of the wood breaking down and the mycelium. I'm about ready to show you the web. But also, if you can imagine, this was 10 feet tall, and now, right now, there's hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of squash on it. And we've already, all the areas at the bottom, we've pulled out, look, if you look anywhere, you'll see carrots. You'll see beets. You'll see native plants.
There it is.
In between it, you'll see pineapples. Now, I'll also try to take into account that I haven't had any maintenance here in 2 months because I've been in the front working. I haven't had any time. So I'm training some interns. I have one intern guy here that he's learning what I teach him. And then we have kalo ready for harvest all over the place.
Wow.
Just anywhere we look, we can pull up kalo like this. And that's what we're doing right now. We're
Kalo.
And these are the Kamehameha tea leaves.
Yeah.
We'll be growing lots of these around here.
Wow.
Our little
Special
farm has
Lau.
rabbits, and they love those.
Yeah, vetiver grass. All this kalo is dry land. I've never seen any fertilizer, but if you look, there's some of them, it's upward of like 10-pound corms.
Wow.
And there'll be an ulu tree there, an ulu tree here, another ulu tree here. There's an avocado tree there. The way I do it basically is with these buckets.
Buckets?
And these buckets are dry right now because I haven't been out here enough. But if you look inside here, I can stick my hand in here. Oh yeah, there you go. There's one of my earthworms.
And they make the moisture
So
level.
look, this is what makes it happen. Mono, check these guys out. The Amnesis gracilis.
Beautiful.
So I use these big fat guys in there,
Wow.
and that's like pure worm castings right there.
The secret.
Looks delicious.
Yeah.
Support global warming.
It does.
So I got some ants in there right now, but so what I'll do is I'll take food scraps and I'll just put it in there, and they'll eat it, and then they'll bring it out into the pile.
Wow.
So there's pineapple, there's taro, there's a bunch of things going on here.
Just put worms.
Yeah, we're not going to take you in the whole back where our little homesteads are set up right now. We're kind of living in tents. We got a little solar system set up. In here, if you look, there's asparagus, there's bananas.
Wow.
Also try to take into account that a couple months ago during the storm, there was no leaves on any of these trees. It was a 100-mile-an-hour wind down here. So everything got blown off the trees. That's why we lost all the mangoes. But here's a really good tangerine for somebody.
Thank you.
So if you
Tangerine,
look here,
tangerine.
look, you'll still see carrots. You'll see roselle. You'll see like anywhere there's natives like Ilima. We'll always try to nurture the Ilima. We grow the uhaloa and we sell it as tea, so people understand what some of the native plants that were used as teas around here are for. Building a little fence back there for our little dogs right now. And then if you look on the ground, what's under your feet? Not grass, but grass. 5, 6 different types of grass, but mostly desmodiums. These desmodiums are nitrogen fixers. So they feed your grass. Which a lot of people don't understand, to have these deep tap root nitrogen fixers along with your grass, that leads to a really healthy ecosystem.
The rich environment,
and
right?
Diversity. This place did not have one worm in it a year ago when I started. Where we're standing was powder that deep and black plastic everywhere. And pretty crazy what we can get accomplished in a short time. And these trees all came up to massive production, and I think we're well on our way now to this summer having a super awesome mango season coming up. And then yeah, we have some little tents set up right now, just on deck, and that's kind of it in a nutshell.
How big is the property?
This is 17 acres from the entrance that you came in over there, and then in the back I'm still cleaning up. I have a massive cleanup going on in the back here where the greenhouses are. I lease another piece of land back there.
But just like say this green area that you turned from dust into oasis in 1 year is maybe what, 1-2 acres?
Oh, this is a
Couple acres?
4 acre piece right here.
It's a 4
acre. It's a 4 acre grove orchard that I pretty much took from chaos, and you can see all the branches all piled in some places.
Yep.
Some areas are still, the last places I got are still what I call their dry phase, and in the dry phase I let all the boar beetles and the termites make powder. And if you really look, they'll take one branch and they'll put a substantial amount of powder, and then when I throw the fungal material in it, it just goes like this. It explodes from the surface area.
So you growing oyster mushrooms as well?
Oyster mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms. I will not get oyster mushroom blooms. Now let's be clear, mycelium, the mushroom is the fruit of it.
Yes.
So we
So
have
they don't
several
bloom out here.
myceliums here that in such a dry environment that won't bloom. But amazingly enough, this year when we had the rain and I had first started, we had oyster mushroom everywhere. And we had pepeao everywhere because it was that kind of a wet year. And I think we're going to have an El Nino year right now, which could constitute into a very wet year for us over here. So I'm actually really excited about what we're going to see popping out of my mycelium everywhere. And I'll be able to show you the webs that are built around here. And yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's not rocket science. It's just dedication, patience, commitment, I guess. Observation, really paying attention and trying to look at what nature's telling us. And then, yeah, we have the chance to clean up places that are left as a mess, make them functional for our community, make them serve our grandchildren, serve the ecosystem. I think that all those things are kind of combined and really important. So yeah, that's to me what's important. Oh yeah, my little Campbell ducks.
Ducks, quack, 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 duck,
They're
quack,
having
quack,
their
quack.
own meeting.
Ducks running around here. There's tortoises running around
Chickens.
here. There's
The
some
tortoises,
little
though, they
puppies
dig
around.
pretty deep, right? How
They
do you
make a
deal with
burrow and they just stay in their little burrow and then they come out and mow the lawn for us.
that? Okay.
Yeah. And these guys, same thing. They just walk around mowing the lawn and they're pretty cool little guys.
Get all the beetles.
Yeah, they're flightless, so they don't represent any invasive or anything like that. Some of the
Have
ducks
they
that
been
were brought
clipped,
over.
or-
No, they don't fly. They're a flightless duck.
Ducks that don't fly, mighty ducks.
Yeah, so people brought ducks over that have like ruined our native koloa from they interbred with them.
Oh,
And then, you know what I mean? It kind of messes it up. Yeah, here we can walk around. Yeah, I don't really want to take you too much back in there, but here, let's go back out this way. We're trying to think of the easiest way for the dog. Yeah, let's walk that way.
Oh, no, this is
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, we'll walk that right here. These guys are putting up a little fence for dogs right now.
so if you guys are watching this video later, if Mr. Eddy Garcia can do it, so can you. He is one man, and if he's done all of this with his vision, his hard drive, his effort, volunteers, you can do it too. You guys can help support the mission. Come Monday through Fridays. Definitely give them a call. Get on the worksheet list. Get your kids involved. Get them something to do. Teach them some skill sets so they can build a farm for you and your ohana in the future.
Now you can see these are some of the last areas I cleared. I want to say just 5 months ago, right here where we're standing, was still 40-foot trees enshrouding this, 30-foot trees.
Wow.
And you can see the difference in the land. Like, I'm still pulling plastic, but you can see my desmodium is already taking hold. And then it's just a constant, it's like this as we go.
Yeah.
For the
Wow.
months, we'll just keep doing this. And then as our desmodium fills in and we take trash out of the ground, then we let some weeds grow on purpose because they blot out other weeds and they're easy to deal with, so we use them to our advantage. And then we grow, this is a native uhaloa. This is an endemic plant. That's a super awesome tea.
Look at
And
those
so-
bees.
The bees love it.
Yeah, it's a great pollinator. I have honeybees here as well. I have 4
Wow.
or 5 honeybee hives. So it's kind of encompassing everything. And then here's some of the last trees that we cut down. They're still in their dry phase. There's another mound over there. Yes, you guys should actually probably see this. This is probably a good example.
All right.
If you want to see.
Sure. Let's go on an adventure. We're going deeper into the jungle.
So if you look in here, you'll see just random, what looks random. But if you actually look closer, you'll see that it's uhaloa. It's kalamungai. It's pua olena.
Olena.
It's carrots. I'll do giant carrot crops and I'll just leave the carrots in the ground. They're super high carbohydrate, and they will feed turmeric like nothing I've ever seen. The turmeric's giant and even more orange. Perhaps it's because
after
of
they
the
break down, the turmeric eats it, or
yeah, the worms will eat the carrots right in the ground. But Pings put tubers in the ground. I do the same thing with tapioca. I'll plant mass tapioca, and I won't harvest it. I'll just chop it down and mulch it. And then it'll compost in the ground. So I'm basically sticking carbon in the ground. And so this mound, I've already pulled tons and tons of squash off of it. I focus on letting the uhaloa take the stage, but then underneath it, everywhere is carrots and beets and turmeric and other trees that will later pop up in the scenario. And then there'll be an ulu tree here and another ulu tree over here. And if you look close, you'll see there's still tons of carrots everywhere. A lot of them are going to seed right now. There's turmeric. But I want to show you what a 9-month-old papaya tree from seed looks like without any fertilizers. It also already went through a 100-mile-an-hour wind 2 months ago, and you can see the 2 months of growth since the storm, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
This is from 9 months ago?
This tree has been giving me papayas from here. I have pictures of it. My trees normally produce up to 300 pounds of papaya a year.
Holy
the average for
cow.
papaya trees is 20 to 40 pounds. This is with no fertilizers, and it's because of the mound behind it. If you see the difference in the growth right there, all of that, the top of it was all blown off by the storm. So that's like all brand new growth since the fire, because all the leaves came off the thing.
So resilient.
All of these things, that's what regenerative agriculture speaks to. It speaks to resiliency. Earlier when I told you guys about desmodium, look at that.
Yeah.
I can let the bigger grasses grow big, but instead of having to use herbicide and try to fight the other grasses, eventually the desmodium will take over and the good grasses will take over. It's just consistency.
Yeah.
Watching it and doing it again and again and again. And so I'm proud on that sense of how papayas are, because I've been consistently able to show this model for many years now. And if the average is 40 to 60 pounds a year for papayas, and we can do 300 pounds a year with no fertilizers, it looks better, all the land is healthier for it, what are we thinking?
Right,
you know what I mean? Honestly.
We should copy you.
Thinking.
No, it's not about me. I think there's a lot of people, I think, on that thing. It's not really about me at all. I'm like, it's kind of funny. I went to the 4th grade. I'm just saying it's really common sense stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I got some birds eating my papayas. I'm growing so much stuff right now. But yeah, so we have an abundance of food that we'll be giving away to folks. On here, there's a little solar system built out here, and we have some little huts and tents that are all legal because they're tents. And so that's kind of the way we're doing it right now. And we're going to be on site, on the farm, building houses, growing food, and sharing with people how simpler life can actually be much better. It's much more, for myself, the poorer I am, the richer I am. Because lately we've been throwing net and eating lobster and eating fish and sticking all the pigs and deers in the smoker. And that's a value like on Molokai. That's how it is anyway. So I'm like, man, Maui needs a little bit of Molokai right now, honestly.
True.
And to like look back to the older ways, how everybody's lived for all these years. So yeah, that's about everything I got to say on it. We got to get back out there.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eddy Garcia.
I didn't mean to turn our whole thing to a super long tour, but
No, that's solid.
yeah, right.
It's good. And when we're recording it, so you don't got to repeat it. We're just going to send it out to the world.
Yeah, I don't think you said anything that you wanted to have cut, right?
I don't think so. I just want to be sensitive to folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was telling you guys earlier, even if there's folks that I disagree with or anything, or necessarily, I don't even want to deal with anything anywhere like
you
that.
don't need any of that energy.
We don't want that
and
drama.
positivity.
Build, grow.
Yeah, I just want because if we can put really positive model out there for everybody, then that provides hope.
Yep.
And I think once we see it and we know, oh, it ain't going to take me 30 years to
can
clean
be
this
done.
stream.
Yeah.
We can clean a stream in a year straight with 30 people and have it look pristine again. In Maliko, we took hundreds of batteries out of the stream. We weren't allowed to. We just said, you know what, we're going to do it anyway.
Right.
And I took my chances and I did it. And so that felt really good. It inspired me. It was my own hope. I can just go in here, I can clean this mess up, and then perhaps if some others see it, maybe it will motivate them to clean up some of the messes as well. And it's not hundreds of millions of dollars. It can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But as a community and setting an example, we've already shown we can bring that in. So how do we make people pay it back and pay it forward? as I told the tourist, you've parasailed over here, you've got married here, while we've been excluded from the beaches, we've been excluded from parking, we can't even get into a restaurant or cream in the store. But so you're here and you want to experience all that wealth of what Hawaii is, then you should also think about how you can give back to it and support these communities. And also think about how you visit. Enough of your parasailing, enough of your bar hopping. Why don't you come and experience culture? Why don't you understand what Aina means and what it is to play a part with the community? And so I think that's, if I had a message to put out there, that would be pretty strong. With all due respect, tourism should play 10% of our economy, not 90%. Yeah, we're second-class citizens here. You know what I mean?
The motion is second.
So yeah, let some visitors come enjoy and understand and learn what Aloha is. But to come and displace us from everything, I try to get in the store over here down the road in Olowalu. And every time I go, tourists pull up in the van and send their kids running out ahead of me to get in line.
What the heck?
And I'm like, I still got to get back to work, and I don't even understand it. And sometimes I feel like saying something to them, and I don't.
Well, check this out real
You know
quick,
what I mean?
guys. Here's the product of the tourism industry mindset, and here is the product of the Aloha mindset.
Yeah, people need to learn to be farmers too.
Which side
Yes.
of the road do you want to live on?
Hey, and you know what? Hey, I'm going to say it straight up. I'm calling you out as well. With all due respect, whoever you are, you say you support agriculture, then get out and farm. I've been offering leases for years to try to get people to understand and to grow food. So get out and farm. Come see us. You want to get your hands in the dirt? We'll help you. We'll empower you. But enough excuses already. Let's stick our money where our mouth is. Let's put our hands into what our mouth supports, our wa'a. You know what I mean? Let's put our mouth where our money is, enough wa'a nui, and let's think, hey, how can we put our hands in the dirt and start farming? So I say that with the utmost humility and due respect, but I am. You say you want to farm, you say you want food security, you say you want farming on Maui, then step up. Come on, let's not be waiters and waitresses. Let's not clean people's diapers and underwear in the hotels. Let's not have to say, oh, thank you, sir, to somebody you don't even like anyway. Let's step up. Let's put our hands in the dirt. Let's grow food for our community.
Talking about responsible farming too, not just any kind of farming, and big high production farming where one person owns all the big land. It should be a lot of small farmers like Eddy that's creating regenerative farming, keeping it as responsible as possible, you know, and really donating their whole life and everything they got like Eddy right to the land. And you know, look, when he gives back to the land gives him back tenfold. And if everybody, you know what I mean, if you guys can see an example, this is a good example right there.
Ayo.
Pretty pono, if you ask me. She's better than a lot of things I see. So I said, do your homework, come out there and see for yourself. Eddy would invite me. He said, come anytime. He never said what time, when I can come. Wasn't come when you're ready, man. I did. Come when I'm ready. That's what I'm doing here right now with my dog.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's the best we can do, right? If we're going to operate something, we need transparency. We need transparency from everybody.
Yo.
You know what I mean? Everybody like, oh, you get in that, you get in that. Sure, this stuff is for one thing, for the people who lost their homes and their life and their sense of normal, our Lahaina. Everywhere we had a mango fight under the mango trees, everything we ran to the harbor surfing as kids, whatever it is, you know, we all know every nook and cranny of Lahaina. And now, when I stood in Lahaina that morning early at 5 in the morning, man, I didn't recognize anything. It's so, I can't even speak to you of what I've seen, and without, I'm on the brink of tears constantly. And I'm lucky I have something to pay forward to my community, because I have a way to process that. I can just keep my head down and go forward. But a lot of my friends and family and people that I know, they're sitting in a hotel twiddling their thumbs and threaten to get kicked out tomorrow and not know what it brings. We're second-class citizens right now. It's never been more evident than it is right now. How do we become first-class citizens? We take it back. We take the Aina back by sticking our hands in it. We set examples of what it looks like. Not with violence, but with aloha, with real aloha, pulling forward together and putting our differences aside and trying to say, hey, what can we do that's real? We can plant things. We can water things. Really simple. Yeah, again, I'm babbling to it, but these are what I feel really strongly is how we bring Lahaina back to being Lahaina, you know, with such a mixed mash. Another thing I want to point out that we pointed out before, for a while I thought, I'm like, oh, I'm one of the only Lahaina farmers that lost his farm. It's not true. All of Lahaina Luna, 30% of those people had pigs in their yard.
Chickens.
80% of them had chickens in their yard. Everybody had bitter melon and kalamungai. Everybody had things growing, okra, papayas in the yard. So everybody was farmers too. And that's why homesteads? Because people want to get back to that. We want to have people be able to have their deck filled with food all around them. So Auntie can sit in her chair, watch her soap operas and whatever, and you can feed her okra out of the garden, just like you were doing up on Lahaina Luna. Everybody knows the average household up there was 12 people, 14 people, not 5 people. You know what I mean? Those garages and cars and vans parked in the carports, part of the tragedy, but also how do we give that same lifestyle with creating another tragedy and also giving us a sense of normal until that time comes again to do that same thing, but in a smarter way, perhaps. I don't know exactly, but yeah, one last babble.
No, you're doing great. And you had a vision, right? Because a lot of people, we've got like over 14,000 people displaced. And we see these container homes. There's going to be, manpower, materials, and, some finances involved. But what is the vision you see to keep Lahaina lands in Lahaina hands? Meaning building a village, building a community. What do you envision?
I'm just one tiny little part of that. Like, I think the community has to really embrace and move forward with whatever the ideals are of the whole. I hear a lot of talk about bringing back the ulu grove and planting regeneratively, and that sings to my heart and my heartstrings personally. I think that agriculture and ethnobotany and how we're built out of what we grow, our cultures, what we relate to, it all comes from the land. Everything we know comes from the land and the water. The word for wealth, ho'ovai, pu'uvai, the blood. These are the things that are important to me. So if the community would really vote for farming taking over gentlemen's estates and tourism knocking down a notch, and perhaps Lahaina being restored to the cultural value that it is, but not only the cultural value, the ecological value. Wetlands play such an important part for our reef systems and what has been here for so long. We've taken the mountains, not us, the agricultural companies took them and they flattened them out. They took the water to totally different areas, and now these totally wet areas are dry fire hazards. So I would hope that agriculture and sound management of the land, servitude to the land, maybe more people will wake up to servitude and understand that we serve the land and it serves us. I would think that that's something myself and my small little part here would envision. But I would really help. What does Lahaina want to see? We got to get people back into Lahaina that are from here, that aren't displaced. We can't allow this giant development to happen around us. I really don't have the answer for that. Manu, you got an answer for that?
What your vision of keeping Lahaina lands in Lahaina hands? We have to fill vacancies for 14,000 plus people, but people are talking about building a village. What do you see as rebuilding Lahaina?
Yeah, like Eddie said, it's going to be up to all the people to embrace it all. I think it's going to take everybody moving together and in one direction. And we got to all find common ground, first of all, and work on that and focus on that. And focus nothing but the common ground. Everything else, you got to let fall off the ship. That's just heavyweight. You're just falling off. But you find common ground, you stick to that, you focus, and you share that common ground with each other. And I promise you, this canoe is going to move faster than you thought. And we're going to move exactly where we want to move. I think that's the biggest thing, and I'm focusing on mitigation of things that with the fires. We want to mitigate these fires by creating more agricultural influences around it. And the landowners around that, I really hope that they find it in their heart somehow to start supporting that kind of thing around the whole neighborhood, the whole Aina of Lahaina. And, it's hard for people to move back into their place knowing that the fire mitigation there is no mitigation. Knowing that, is it going to be safe again? It's not only everybody just moving in one, it's like to get everybody to that point, you really got to have trust. And unfortunately, it starts with those big landowners on the outside, I believe, too, to really kind of start thinking with one better head, with more community thoughts. And I feel like if they get backed by the community, everybody going to be doing way better, including that person, whoever they are. West Maui land, all those landowners and all those guys.
Peter Martin.
Yeah. Well, I don't like throwing names out there, whatever it is, but
Pikachu said it.
Yeah, it's kind of a vital thing that we all kind of just find common ground and focus on that common ground, and you know, just move forward. Just focus on solutions. Don't focus on problems. Don't see what is wrong. Don't see what is that. I had one choice where I could tell people, oh, maybe we should do it this way. Maybe we should do that way. I think we should do this way. And then it starts to turn to I this, I that. Or I just go to the other road and just be like, you know what? I feel like this guy's gonna be doing good. I just gonna back these guys up as much as I possibly can to make them strong as much as I possibly can. So I'm over here feeling like I like back up Eddy in every way that he had, and I know Eddy feels the same way about me and everything. I don't even have to ask him. So with that said, I just gonna move forward with that positive Pono march, you know, and keep it real as much as possible. Aloha.
You moving up, okay? I got chicken skin. See, you got Hawaiians together. Oh my God.
Keep it real.
Chihu.
That's it.
All
I
right.
want to point one other thing while we're here out. Where we're standing. Where we're standing is a little trail that's been put in here on the back road. And if you notice what's around it, check this out. This powder. This comes from the mountain. This comes from the mountain from the deforestation, from the cane industry, from the pineapple industry. What was above us? This is the legacy they've left.
Dry,
they've taken
arid.
fertile land, fertile Aina, and they've turned it into dust. And now we're losing it to the sky. We're losing it down this trail into the ocean. But I want to point something out that might inspire you. This year alone, with just a tiny little hump of silt that I moved and a low spot on the other side here, I've been able to save hundreds, if not thousands of tons of soil from going out on the reef out there. In fact, this year, I took every drop of topsoil coming from the mountain here that was coming in this direction, and I put it all back on to the farm project. In fact, those hills that you see that we're going to grow food with, they are mixed with the silt and the topsoil from up in the mountain. So rather than letting all that mineral material go out and smother our reefs, we were actually able to put it on the land and add to this abundance. So out of tragedy comes abundance, but averts tragedy somewhere else. What we need to do now is we need to reforest our watersheds. We need to plant natives.
Ew.
We need to, like, if tourists are going to come over, make them come up and plant trees.
Ew.
Or make a tax on the tourists. Go to reforestation, to reclaiming our water. We say they don't have the water to take care of the infrastructure. Charge the tourists 10% of their stay when they come here to give back. We can't get on the beach.
10% of
We
your
can't
time
find parking.
planting.
We can't find cream in the store. We got to wait in line for somebody running out of their van to get in the restaurant before us. So what's up with that?
You got
Pay
no
attention.
you got no Manapua, no Port Cash, no Meat Jun.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on
You're gonna
here?
visit Pono. You wonder why somebody's tailgating you. You're cutting off someone for the parking spot. You wonder why we're weary while we're in a state of trying to grieve over it. Meanwhile, you're just dancing around on the roof with sunscreen and your little hula, whatever. You know what I mean? And we're sitting
You're gonna
like,
get
trying to get something to eat before we got to get back to work. I know you're looking at us all dirty like we're low life because you're in your fancy clothes and your rental car, and you were looking at us like a second-class citizen. So now you don't even want to interact with anybody. There's a separation. Wake up, maka'ala, open your eyes, and try to see what you're treading on when you come here. Try to do it with responsibility. Understand and learn what aloha is, because you'll never see more aloha when you tread the right way. When you come in and you act responsibly and you want to learn instead of take, and you come with some sense of entitlement. I've had people stop me from trying to surf or kite surf on the beach because they're on vacation and they have that sense of entitlement to be there, and I'm in the way somehow. So, like, no, enough of that already. Wake up. Have people come here with respect and having to learn a different culture, and not thinking that this is just America and that they have this sense of entitlement free for all, and that you're thinking you're helping us. You want to know where your money goes to? Your money goes 99% of it to the giant corporations that build the hotels. The folks that work in the hotels, I would probably say 70% of the workers are actually immigrants that are coming over here. We love them as well too, but still yet, let's be real about it. How many people do you know that are Hawaiian or not Hawaiian that grew up on Maui that work in the hotels and make a decent living? Washing somebody's underwears, waiting for them at the tables. Oh, I got your shrimp. I'll bring you, your glass broke. Enough of that already. You know what I mean? So what's the reality of it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Second-class citizens. So you want to say in your thing, I'm here supporting you. That's why I'm in Hawaii. That's what I hear all the time from them. You ain't supporting us. You're supporting the oppressor. You're supporting the things that have taken the beaches, taken the parking spots, taken the cream out of the store, and you're dancing around like you have the right to do it. And I love people, and so I'm not trying to say this out of disrespect. but open your eyes. Pay attention that when you come into a culture that's so different that you need to pay. Would you go to Islam and shake somebody's hand with your left hand? You'd probably have enough common sense not to do that. So why would you do what you're doing here around us all the time? Sorry, I mixed that one up, but I know you guys are editing. So this right here, the dirt, that's what I was talking about. Perfect. I just wanted to show that because erosion is so important for us. And keeping the soil on the land. And then what you see right here, you're gonna be able to take all the wasted materials from the invasive trees and all the silt that's ran down the mountain. And now because of that, we're gonna be able to grow hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds of food that we can give to folks.
So you're taking back the land just a few feet at a time, huh?
Yeah, it is kind of like just forward, just forward, just forward.
Keep expanding from the initial oasis area.
Yeah, beautiful. Exactly. Little bit at a time. The sprinkler will get moved down here now. This is the first wetting of the piles now. So we're right at that same time next week. We'll plant these piles in squash. So all that material that you see at the surface, the squash will cover it. The mycelium mat will go under the squash. We'll grow all of that, and then the worms will have a cool place to really eat that pile. And then by the time the squash has run its course by summer, the papaya trees will already be loaded. The pua olena, the sweet potato, the tapioca. So it happens pretty quick. Grinding it up, and then eventually every little piece of ground that if you don't cover it up cracks like this, because that's all silt that ran out of the mountain. So now you have to cover that with mulch, you have to add the mycelium, the earthworms, and now the worms can move from this pile to that pile. The tree in the shade can get photosynthesis from the tree in the sun. And that's what the web, the soil web, the network that's underneath us does. And that's why we need to understand that as above, so below. It's so important to understand that and what's happening above us and below us. And then once we know it and we understand it, we know how to drive our race car, you know what I mean? Or we know how to steer it. I don't know, but if we can learn how to steer our impact on the planet and what we're doing with things, then we can live in harmony with this planet. We can live in harmony and nothing but beautiful examples and leave something legacy for our grandchildren.
It's just true biology. Soil biology is all where it comes from. So where we come from. The silt itself, because it's such a thin little tiny piece of soil, when it comes together and it dries up, it compacts like a rock, and you can't really push, the roots can't push through that. You need something like a medium, like all this mulch that's going to go inside the soil that'll help hold water and retain water. When the soil is this hard and cracked like that, water goes on top of the soil and it runs away. You don't want water running away on top of the soil. You want it to just soak right in. That's healthy soil. That's how you can tell that stuff. The mycelium he's talking about is straight up biology. That stuff is all the good stuff that is going to inoculate everything. That's going to bring all the nutrients. That's going to be healthy for everything you grow. And then when you eat it, you're going to have healthy, real nutritional food. Not fake kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you know. If not, do the research, bro. Do the research yourself, because what you put in your body is important. That's your own choice. You make your own choice.
So you can hear the words from Brother Manu, Malama Ke'aina. I want to nominate Mr. Eddy Garcia to the David Attenborough of the Hawaiian Islands. So he can give us this great documentary of how he's doing this all. With
as you can see,
how to save Maui and the Hawaiian Islands with the worms. You just get some worms and you make some piles and you run the water.
And they don't give a shit for the damn land. All they can do is fuck it up more. Damn those bastards!
How dare those bollocks! Absolute bollocks!
Bollocks, I tell you. David Attenborough, if you see this, come get your feet on the ground.
Come join us. Come.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if you were familiar with Joel Salatin.
I am familiar with Joel Salatin.
Yeah, you're kind of reminding me of his Reclaiming the Desert, but with a different approach.
Yeah. I won't talk about that on film too much.
All right, then.
Clearing people's house sites to put these tiny homes on and helping in the bioremediation and the cleanup process when that time comes. But until that time comes, we have about 60 acres that we're farming, and we do a lot of that by hand and by pick. but a few machines, something as simple as a skid steer with a mulcher attachment, that can up our game so much. And that machine can also be what we move ash off of people's properties and help to move the containers and the tiny homes on site. So that's one of the things within our tool library and with what the needs are that we need around here, is we're trying to get a machine on site, like a skid steer type of a machine, a high flow.
So you new, used, are all okay?
New, used, whatever it is
Borrow.
that gets it here for us, borrowed to us, leased to us, that we can use it to accomplish what we're doing farming.
Okay,
and keep
Maui
this going.
contractors, we're going to be tagging you on this post. Hopefully you can get in touch with Eddy Garcia and his wonderful team here. How do they get in touch with you? Is it recenters.org?
You can go to our website, which is recenters.org. If you need to get a hold of us directly, it's info@recenters.org. But I would recommend going there, looking at the program, looking at what we're doing here on site, and seeing what this encompasses. This is what it does is regenerating the land, feeding people, putting people in houses that they own without any cost to them. I've always thought that a nonprofit shouldn't make profit. So a nonprofit that has
Makes
giant
sense, yeah.
administrative fees or salaries, or we're rated the way we are as a nonprofit because we don't take from it, we give from it. It's a vehicle to bring something in and to be able to help our community around us. So basically, what's happening here on the ground, you'll be able to see what's happening here. Everyone is welcome to stop by and see what's happening here.
Every Saturday, you open at what time for people to come and volunteer?
8:30 on Saturday, 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. We do a volunteer day. And then from 9 to noon, 3 hours, come help a little bit, get your hands dirty, see what's happening here.
And
then
what's
I
the
feed you an
address?
awesome meal from the farm.
Oh, meal from the farm. Okay, what's better
Hard
than
to beat
that?
that.
Free
right?
lunch, free lunch.
Yeah, free
No
lunch.
free
and-
lunch. You got to work if you want to get this lunch.
And there's a lot of cool people around us. Like, in Hawaii, our community sometimes is so fragmented. Just from someone over here's a Konahiki, someone over here's a Konahiki. There's peer pressure. There's all these things that divide us instead of bringing us together. And at this point in time, we have to come together to help our community. So I see Saturday Volunteer Day and some of the things we're doing as a point for people to have fellowship in a sense of communication with each other. And to be working on a project together, I feel like that's very bonding for a community.
Well, and I love volunteering because I learn things from people who know a lot more about it than I do. I'm a Padawan farmer, so listening to Eddy last time talk about how he propagates the soil with the mycelium and how the whole thing works, like that makes me a better farmer on my own little chunk of heaven, right? So, and I don't even know how to build either. Last time you said you're a farmer, you're not a builder. But outside, we see all of these amazing structures coming together here. So you made a platform for builders. So I want to learn with the builders.
I design off-grid homesteads, not because I'm in the construction industry, but because I design farms. And when I design a farm, I design a medium for a family to live for generations there. So in that mentality is, how do we shape the land so the grandma after great-grandma will still be serving guava pie off her guava tree, you know what I mean, or whatever it is that you grow. Family farms need to be generational, and that's been lost. That's been taken from us by technology. James Dean went to the city with a cigarette and a fancy car. People looked back at the guy in the overall and his tractor and wanted nothing to do with it. And so what happened was the industry came over, took all the farms. And 90% of us used to be farmers just 100 years ago. Less than 1% of us are farmers now. What does that say? That says we got some serious issues with food security.
Yeah.
We got some serious issues with our connection to our mother. You know what I mean? And understanding what we provide for the land and what the land provides for us. I think this is all really important stuff. So if we are now, in this day and age, given the opportunity to walk back to nature with technology, we walked away from nature to technology. And I think there's this giant disconnect. So now we have the chance to build farms with solar panels instead of gas generators. We have the chance to use gravity and use what we've learned and plant on contour and plant forests instead of fields that displace everything around them. So I think this combination of what regenerative agriculture offers us, it offers us hope for the future. And it's what we should be doing. We should be taking care of the land and learning how it can take care of us. And there's a wealth and a prosperity, I believe, that comes along with that. So out of this tragedy, we're going to build homesteads for folks. And perhaps by putting people in these homesteads with a little closer connection to nature, then perhaps all of us will have examples of what a lighter footprint may look like and how we can live in harmony with the land around us, grow food, grow our families, and have this whole other form of wealth that isn't recognized. You know, right now it's a dollar bill that's wealth. Dollar bill is a screwdriver.
Health is wealth.
It's a tool. You use it for things. When we start looking at it as wealth, we've already failed. So when we look at community not being fragmented, when we look at the land not being fragmented, when we look at these things all coming together, I think that's what we have a chance to do here out of tragedy. We're building, and not only are we building homesteads, but we're building ourselves and we're building community. So I think that's like, what do we need from folks? We need people to show up that want to help with the sincerest intentions of what can I give back to my community? And so that's what this is about right here. You may see the containers on the side of the road. You may wondering what's going on behind here. Stop by, check it out, come ask questions.
There's a
Come
wooden
see for
sign that
yourself.
says Aloha as you're going towards the Lahaina side. You just chuck a quick right after that wooden Aloha sign.
Yep, there's a dump down at the end, pull into the entrance at the Olowalu Refuge Center. There's a road that comes back towards us. You'll see our containers on the side of the road. And when you actually step in, you'll probably be surprised that in a few months, these containers have gotten here, but if you look what's growing around you right now, there are perhaps millions of plants already in the ground.
Yeah, it was more brown towards the highway on this side last time, but now I'm seeing the squash or pumpkin growing out there. Everything's green.
You can't help but to go by it, and you're going to see this place prosper.
Yeah.
And you're going to see this place prosper with zero fertilizers brought in, with zero pesticide. This is consistency, management, stewardship. How the Hawaiians had a perfect agricultural system for perhaps thousands of years without a single drop of fertilizer, without a single pesticide. Why are we unable to do that now? We're unable to do that because we've lost the connection.
People forgot.
We've interrupted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need to remind ourselves constantly and on every avenue that we can do this and we can like reclaim our connection back to nature. We're going to be healthier. There's going to be less cancer. There's going to be more appreciation for real food. There's going to be more appreciation for the land. There's going to be less displacement. And what you'll find when you come over here is that Eddy's always telling you to look down because you're stepping on something. And that's how we are on the planet right now. We're not really looking down. We're not really looking. We're looking to the stars. We're looking to the sky. We're looking to the future. But what we need to do is we need to look down to what we're stepping on, what we're treading over, if you want to use the American thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it should be that our gardens are saying, don't tread on me. You know what I mean? Enough breaking ground. That term is done for. Now we need to make ground. That's what the future needs to bring for all of us.
I love that.
So at this place, I like to think that we're making ground. We're making ground in the form of
I saw it. You turned wood into dirt.
Right.
He's
We're not
making
doing.
ground.
We're simply setting the stage to allow Mother Nature to do what she does in perfection. That's been interrupted so many time and time again. And if we can sit back and humble ourselves a little bit and be patient and be consistent, then we're going to watch what blooms and unfolds around us. And I think that right now we're really focused on building houses. But on my spare time, I sprinkle seeds. I pile some wood chips. I put a little here.
Yeah.
And when you walk around and you see what that's going to look like in a few months, it's like, wow, how does this happen that we can do both these things at the same time?
It's more satisfying than playing Farmville, right? It's
I'm
real
not
life
sure what
Farmville.
that
It's a game on Facebook where everybody pretends to be a farmer. Yeah, and it's so like people get addicted to it. But I was telling her when we work in our garden, it's real life Farmville because we swap cuttings and seeds, and it's just like the game, but it's real life.
Because it's what they're seeing on the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody on the internet has some tiny little garden in their backyard, and they're selling the next newest, greatest plastic pot or this or that.
Yeah.
And none of them are actually doing the deed. You know what I mean? They're like they're great marketing skills, but what we need, and farmers don't have marketing skills. Where those are the people in the industry, the self-proclaimed experts,
Right.
what they're experts at is marketing themselves. And I think that's a big difference there.
Right.
Most of the farmers that are making giant strides on the ground, you'll never hear about.
because they're at home with their face in the dirt. I was thrown into what I'm doing because I feel the responsibility that we need to have good models. We need to show what good agriculture looks like. If we don't have models, we don't know it's possible.
Right.
You drive in the Central Valley, what's the first thing you see here? A million lemon trees with black plastic all over them.
Yeah, and monocrop
Soil
becomes the
up
norm.
in the sky. Those
Right.
guys are using herbicide, pesticide, but they're calling themselves Pono. This is what you see happening around us. So we need real models of agriculture that look like agroforestry systems, that preserve the reefs, that preserve the life around it, the bees, the native insects, the native animals, the creatures that make what this is. So I think that as we see these giant corporations come in and take 40,000 acres and turn it into giant monocrops, and people are supporting that as farming, well, you need to wake up and understand that is not farming. That's another giant corporation making money off the land.
It's
taking,
parasitic farming.
not giving. It's parasitic farming, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're putting black plastic on the ground and you're using herbicide and you're using chemical fertilizer and pesticides, you are not working with nature. You are not a part of the solving the problem. You are the problem. And so it's kind of there's a huge
So come be part of the solution.
Yeah, be part of the solution, not the pollution. For every year, everyone goes up to the pumpkin patch and wants to take pictures with the pumpkin. They're like, oh, we're supporting a farmer. That farm is one of the worst farms on Maui. They're on the side of a hill. They're using nothing but chemical fertilizer, Roundup, herbicide, and they should be boycotting that farm. But in their minds, they've been told support local agriculture. That's not enough. Support real agriculture that takes care of the land, that does not leave a chemical footprint, that does not leave silt on our reefs, that does not only think of profit first, that thinks of the land first, and then what we get out of it. And so it's up to every individual to educate themselves right now and find those farms that are awesome like that. On Oahu, I know Jack Johnson's got a really good thing going on with the Kukua farms.
Hi, Jack.
There's a
Love your
couple of
music.
really awesome things going on out there, and you need to seek them out. Because if you're just going to the farm that you see black plastic on the ground and rows of stuff, that food is probably going to give you cancer. It's using chemicals. It's using herbicide. We've already showed that Roundup causes cancer. They knew that for 40 years. They bound it in litigation and still told people to use it.
You're going to
When it
get me
was
banned
fact.
from YouTube if I publish all this, Eddie.
It is what it is. You can publish any of this you want. I don't care. I'm just speaking the truth.
Okay.
So we have to understand that herbicide is laziness. You can take wood chips and put them on a pile, even on a massive level, and you can pull weeds out like butter. We show that again and again and again and on our models. And that's why setting up models that it works on and that everything you do preserves and gives more integrity to the land instead of tilling it and destroying the soil web and just putting in chemical fertilizers or whatever it is that you're doing. This is how most agriculture is done. And so for years I even boycotted organic agriculture. And I think organic agriculture definitely needs to happen. It's a step in the right direction. But regenerative agriculture, I think, speaks louder than that. And to define what that means, conventional farming is basically ammonium nitrate, bomb material, used as a chemical fertilizer to mimic nitrogen, put in the ground, and we can grow crops. And we've been growing most of our food our entire lifetime with recycled bomb material. That's conventional farming. It can grow food. It cannot grow soil. So then you hear about organic farming. But we don't want to use bomb material as our fertilizer anymore. Great. So it's a step in the right direction. But what did they do? They went straight to bone meal, blood meal from a Tyson chicken factory that's getting hormones and everything under the sun for it. You're supporting that industry now.
Here
What's
comes some
organic?
insider info, folks.
Yeah.
I grew up on the farm. My dad's a big onion farmer, and I know for a fact that the organic label doesn't really mean organic. It's just a way of selling at a higher price.
So the movement was good, and everybody wants to get, and everything should be organic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad-mouthing that. But what's happened is the greenwashing. Companies have come on and said, yeah, we're organic, and then take on a contract with a terrible industry for all their feather meal and bone meal and blood meal and sticking that in the ground. And while that can be a little better for the ground, it also will still turn into salts in the ground. It'll do the same thing that chemical fertilizer does, unless it is buffered by life. The soil web works
That
by
mycelium
life.
and-
Mycelium, little critters, little
nature,
bacteria.
trash
Everything has to
collectors,
move it and cycle it.
Recycle
And
it.
if it's unable to cycle it, plants can grow right off it in there. But when it rains, it just washes off. It doesn't blend into the bigger picture. And it gets used with such inefficiency that plants through a web can use 1/100% of that. So now all you're doing is flowing all this bone meal, blood meal, sticking it in the field and letting it wash in the river the same way the chemical fertilizers were doing. You're still allowed to use black plastic over it. You're still allowed to use pyrethriums to spray with. So where do we draw the line and say, look, we don't need to grow this much food we're growing all over the world that makes us need the fertilizers and the pesticides. That's what we don't realize. I don't know what the numbers are, but I would say probably as much as 70% of agriculture goes to fuel, textiles, animal feed, and other things besides feeding people. So if we change that model on the whole, and we took the 20% of agriculture as we repaired all the lands everywhere else, and we were able to put that into feeding people, how does that work?
What a game changer that would
Well,
be.
well, it means people stepping up and being farmers again. Farm your backyard.
Yeah.
Farm an acre. Start stepping up so that we can take our food back.
Well, this is only supposed to be a 5-minute interview.
Sorry.
We got to 20 minutes. This is just a preview of all the things that you can learn if you come down here on a Saturday morning and volunteer. Get your hands dirty, start building, start digging. Mahalo, Eddy Garcia, and
We have a question
the
for
whole
you.
team. Oh, we got one more question.
So, what message, because we got people, over 1 million people live in Oahu. You're the best work I've seen so far actually build a real housing solution project. If you could send this message to the President of the United States, the Governor, and the Mayor, what would you like to say to them?
I would probably say, give a look at what we're doing. We brought in some good resources. They're here. You want to use your resources to build them out and give them to folks? Great. We just want to house people. I was able to bring in hundreds of 45-foot steel containers in epic shape, 20-foot containers. These things are hurricane proof. We have designs that they're livable, decent, beautiful houses that folks can use, and we're giving them to free to these folks that haven't had homes. So if you see this, then just take a look at what's going on with our program, and if you're in the position to be able to help with this, then let's boost this up and get people into houses that they can live in. And when you think containers, you think a little box or something, but it's not like that. We're making places that are livable with dignity. They're hurricane proof, 5,000-pound earth anchors in them. They leave no signature on the land underneath them. So if they need to be temporary, that's the whole idea, that they can be moved onto their land later. So we've taken a long time at putting together an approach of a homestead that not only could we help out temporary with, but that these folks could own these homes later on. A lot of these people didn't have insurance on their houses. They have no way of rebuilding back on their land. So to have a few years in a smaller, sort of like a tiny home, in a tiny homestead, until they get their feet back on the ground so they can build something better or incorporate it into it, that's what we're trying to get done here.
Beautiful. Mahalo.
Awesome. You did fabulous, Mr. I don't want to run for office. I'm not a politician.
I'm not a
you
politician.
You was going so smooth, I didn't want to stop you at all.
No, it's all right. I get in rants, and we know what we're doing over here and what we're trying to put forward. And my thing is, like, I've had a lot of folks that are like, oh, we want to put this out there, and I'm just careful. I want to be careful and with integrity in how I represent myself, and that's all. I don't want to get caught in the no disrespect to your views or your beliefs.
Completely
or anything,
respect, and
just
I
trying
appreciate
to be
that you
in
laid
that
it down.
neutral ground
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
yeah. Just so you know it. So, yeah, that's all we
And
can
we
do.
all do need to unite no matter what, because food security is an issue.
Project.
Side question: do you know who the biggest farm
Our
owner
younger
in America
future
is?
leaders are right here. Mr. Jackson.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, no, I know.
We have our
And I asked
website
my dad
right
to
here.
confirm, and he said, "Yeah, for
You guys
sure."
want to figure out
Yeah,
more?
my
You
dad,
can
at
take a
least at
picture
one
of
point,
this
was the biggest
picture of
onion
this
exporter.
video.
And that's
If
what
I already
me
took a
over there
picture,
back in, like,
and you guys can
2001.
QR code the
My mom
website
convinced me to go
for
check it out for a while.
recenters.org.
'Cause they were selling
I'll show you guys a mini preview of what it does look outside. So we have been here before. This is the project with the tiny homes. They got a Tesla wall here. It's coming out beautifully. There's a mini kitchen. See the hardworking staff. Always doing awesome work. They're doing volunteers on Saturdays. Definitely come down 9 to 12. You can see that's going to be for the gray water for the toilets. So you got the mini homes there, food. And Eddie's a farmer, so there's trees everywhere, there's plants, just a whole bunch of food. And with these young future leaders, I feel like we get a chance. If I see people younger than me, we have a chance. Hallelujah.
We're trying.
These guys are doing it.
Someone got to,
Right?
Yeah.
So come support these guys. If you guys haven't been here yet, definitely check it out. Olowalu. We got to roll out with saying thank you to the crew and everybody here. You guys can see what it looks like. So you guys can see right here. This is what it looks like.
Let's take a little walk around together real quick.
10-4. This is the website. You guys can see recenters.org. And we get a special tour with Brother Eddie. He's the best man to talk about this.
So we got a mound here that looks like a big S if you look down here.
Okay, oh yeah, the curve.
A big mound that goes all the way down like that, past this little RV. And if you look, it kind of ends right here, and this is where we started.
You see the sunflowers growing.
We've been planting little things here for no longer than 8 weeks. Nothing in the ground has been longer than 8 weeks here.
Holy
including
shit.
these papaya trees. They've
8
also
weeks, that
went
thing
through
is fast.
50-mile-an-hour winds twice. And so
Wow.
all the leaves got blown over them, and they're still regrowing.
Oh my God.
And so deforestation that's been left by bad agriculture.
Eddy
That's what it
Garcia.
does. It deforests everything. And
Yeah,
that
Maui
used to be
like
thriving
completely
forest.
green,
That's
right?
right.
Any tour of
And
the
so
regenerative
that's
farming
why
process.
if we
You
build
see
farms
things
in this
grow
fashion,
just like this
and they're
in 8
trees
weeks.
planted along with our crops, and
This
they're
is what
islands,
came in 8 weeks
that
already.
tree, that lump over there also has 35 breadfruit trees in it that are all tiny right now.
Ulu,
So
beets,
what'll be here
banana,
is a whole
kalo.
belt and swath of trees and islands that have multiple layers of food. And in a very short time, there's a lot of food growing. And so this little stretch you see here, which will represent our first 60,000 pounds of food, is one guy by himself, probably an hour a day, little bit here, little bit there. And so imagine what we could do as a community. Imagine what we could do, you know, as a nation.
Together.
And what we could do with the land we have here in Hawaii if we really want to grow food and take that back for ourselves. The year before last, we grew 350,000 pounds of food on a 1/4 acre of land. And we were able to give that to our community during COVID without a single drop of fertilizer. What does this say?
It's phenomenal.
That this model that we've been pushed on our whole lives, that we need these fertilizers and we need to do it this way, and that it has to be easy and not hard. You know, it's just, we're disproving that. And we can show what good solid agriculture looks like.
Good salad agriculture. I like salad agriculture. Solid salad.
Solid salad.
Yes, sir.
Sure,
Look at
there's
this beautiful
probably squash
green
all over these things. They're just baby
flower
still.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. These things will be loaded in no.
But these are beautiful. Look at how they're growing. Hey, aren't squash leaves edible as well?
Totally. And the tips and the flowers and
You see
everything
that?
else.
Look at that
Yeah.
basil.
So I just keep pushing the squash into the mounds and let everything grow around it. So in here there's basil, there's taro, there's bananas. So this mound right here alone will be a few 100 pounds of food. I mean, the
Wow.
papaya trees will probably
Oh,
do
look at
upward
who
of
else
200
likes
pounds a
it.
year.
Who likes it?
We
Buzz,
also
buzz.
have
Bees.
honeybees on site. And this is a native bee right here that we see. This is an endemic
Oh, that's a
wild
little tiny bee.
native bee from this area.
Eddie, you have a
I've
guess?
never seen a bee like that before.
What do I have
That's
on
crazy.
my plate here? Excuse me 1 second, guys. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah, we got to take off anyway, buddy. Thank you so much, Eddie.
We already got this way. Oh,
Yeah.
Go around and through the other way.
See the S curve going around there. You can see there's water, hydroponics. Check out the website right here. We have the Instagram at recenters.org. I'm gonna get my jacket. We're gonna say thank you to all of you guys for coming by, and we're gonna relax. Choo.
Here we are. We're at my farm in Olowalu, and I want to point out what's going on over my shoulder over here. We're going to talk about this temporary site that they're recommending be a permanent site, and we need to get this into community discussions because everyone's driving right by it, but I don't know if they realize what's happening. And you can see the road behind me there, and we're going to show you a bunch of video and what's actually happening here. So if you feel like it's not right, and you understand the ramifications of this, then you need to let it be known, because the county does not seem to know this, and they seem to think that the community supports this being put here. And so we're going to try to go through this, and this is a bit of community information that we're trying to put out to you right now. I say this with all humility. I don't mean to speak for anyone else. I'm simply putting it out there because I believe there needs to be a large discussion which involves our entire community, and especially Kanaka Maoli and all of the kupuna, because we need to hear what our community actually wants to happen. This could have repercussions far beyond what people think, and a few hundred yards from our most precious resource, the ocean. And these are the type of toxins that find themselves into the food chain and are what are destroying our ocean. So why are we going to take a chance with putting it right next to it on a cinder pit that's some of the most permeable stuff we know about? And right where I'm standing right here, actually closer to where the red flags are there's an underground stream that runs through here. There's another underground stream that runs right through the other side of it. This is all mapped out in fact. So we need to make these decisions based on these facts and not some of the stuff we're being told.
West Maui families are protesting in opposition to a proposed dump site for toxic fire debris south of Lahaina. Our Chelsea Davis is in Olowalu with both sides tonight.
I'm right off of Honopi'ilani Highway in Olowalu. The protesters are all gone, but their signs are still out here. You can see them behind me. They say, think of future generations and Malama'aina. They were out here since 8 o'clock this morning, and earlier today, there were hundreds of them. Take a look and listen. They chanted and went all the way up to the location of the temporary dump site for the wildfire debris. And it's also one of the 8 potential locations for the permanent site. But opponents fear the temporary location will inevitably turn into the permanent location, especially since a permanent site hasn't been picked yet. They say the debris being brought into Olowalu is toxic and harmful to people and the environment. Plus, they say the land there is sacred and filled with iwi kupuna, ahu, and hail.
This place gets windy. This place is really close to the ocean. So I think we need to have a little bit more time to find some different solutions that will work for everybody.
There has been the option brought to our attention about shipping the debris off to Kaho'olawe for those who don't want it at Olowalu or anywhere else on this island. And I think it's important to understand that that would also mean putting it within our channels between Maui and Kaho'olawe and placing it on an island that so many have been working hard over the decades to restore it.
County officials say it's important to remove the ash and debris from Lahaina as quickly as possible so the rebuilding process can begin. And again, they want to remind everyone that this is just a temporary site. They say a permanent location has not been chosen yet. They say the cost to take 400,000 pounds of debris off island will take years and billions of dollars. They say there are residents who want it on island because the ash and the debris could contain loved ones and human remains. They agree there is no perfect site. There is a special council meeting on this very topic next week, Tuesday, January 2nd at 9 a.m. and the public is welcome to testify. Reporting in Olowalu, Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
So I thank you for your time.
So you guys are going to find on the fact sheet 5 different options that we've spelled out, just as people in the community. like I said, I'm a farmer. There's a lot more brilliant minds in our community than me that can put another 10 of them up there. But if, first off, the county told everyone that FEMA would not take it off the island. I had the head FEMA guy in my office, and he wasn't super nice at the moment, and we had some words, and he admits 100% that FEMA will take it off the island. It's not even an issue. I was texted from one of the meetings from some of the people in the mayor's circle that they are now aware of this 100%. They know that they will pay to take it to its final destination, wherever that is. So if we know that, and again, like I spoke before, I just want to bring it fresh to your minds, but if they're gonna wrap it in these burritos, then dump it in the wind open, and then dig that up, poison this place to take it to a permanent site, why not do that in Lahaina, wrap it tight enough where you have the proper way, wash the trucks before you transport. We have data that shows that all of these things combined, everything screams no. Everything screams stop. Take a look, put the brakes on. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Let all the bright minds come in. So those solutions are on the scan to make your question answered as well. They're on the paperwork where you guys are going to sign up. This is an area to educate you so that you can start digging further than us. Tell us we're wrong if you find it. Look at the options we put forward, and all of you folks move forward with more exploration to build on that, and let your county council and your mayor know that this is not what we want as a community. We're going to be there as long as it takes to stop this from happening and to educate those in our community who don't know of this yet and are unaware of the facts. So thank you. Aloha.
And without the water, there is no blood. We don't live. So if they kill this water that runs beneath Malalo Ike Aina, Ikapua Avalua Ahupua'a, we're done. So this kind of action, this is awesome. I want you guys to do something for me. So we're gonna just touch the person to your right. Just touch the person to your right. Touch the person to your right. And you guys are gonna do a breathing exercise. This exercise is really important to collecting mana and breathing mana. You're gonna do this 3 times. Why do we do this? Because the plants do it every day. They draw mana from the soil and from the water, and then they breathe it out to us. The plants want us to live. And if we ho'omalama na la'au, if we take care of all the plants that are growing, they can give us their mana. See, even the gas company with us. Watch this. Makakau. Take a deep breath. Think about Olowalu. Breathe out. Breathe in. Think about Pu'uhonua, because that is what Olowalu is. Pu'uhonua. Ooh, I feel him. Last breath. Breathe in. Think aloha. He nakuna himoyaki ain. He kupa anu mako akiaba. Haviakuno ikelo. He kiolo no inakuna himoyakai. Kapuo. E iano kapuo nua o e iano ikawa. He va makai. He makai kiolo no mako e Aho obo mai kai mena ho ilina hua ana ike aina hua no iki koko aki no aka ike o iai no mako o pilino iko hana ua hiki mai akai kua han ka kuia uma o aki he buko a e ino akale he lele a kan palia ka kulua hono kai hono ka ka kulo Ua pilino mako aki aina he kia ino ina kupuna. He kupuna no iki aina. He aina no iki ali. He kawa no kanaka ka aina. The land is chief and we are the servants. We live. Mahalo. Mahalo. I don't know how many of you saw, but I did kind of post a last-minute post to Ha'i, or to Kahea, all the ohana from this place. We have Ka'awai, Ka'ahui, Mahulu, Kalai, Paihala, Ka'ili La'au, Ka'ili La'au, just to mention a few. I thought it was important to put the kahea out to them to let them know that if they come to this gathering, they're going to see other extended members of the ohana who share the same passion, the same aloha, the same ike oya iko about what we need to do to ensure that this place stays sacred. If we're going to call this sacred space, then let's treat it like it's sacred space. And one of the keys, the evidence to really recognizing and appreciating that is when I don't know how many of you have driven past this place for the last year, we saw that it was just a barren wasteland. And then some crazy visionary from Molokai came, and he saw something else many of us didn't see. He saw the Aina living and breathing, arising from the soil. So with shovel and pick in hand, he started his work, and others who saw what he was doing thought he was just as crazy as the rest of us. But they came and they started putting shovel and pick into the ground. And with each dig, they could feel the land breathe and reciprocate her mana. Now look, this place is thriving. Even after the fires have scorched the land many, many times, the trees are breathing. Iho'aho no, na la'au, hua no ka'aina o Olowalu. Olowalu, for those of you who don't know, is actually a pu'uhonua. So everybody say pu'uhonua. A pu'uhonua is a place of refuge. This is a sanctuary space. This is a place where in the old days, many of the Kanaka who had no other option but to run for their lives, whether they violated a kapu or did something that wasn't pono in the community, they came here, found refuge. Not even the king could accost them once they came into a pu'uhonua. This was a pu'uhonua in 1790 when Simon Metcalf and his men came out here because they wanted to make an example of the people of Olowalu. And rather than trade from this side, they had the people trade on the other side and open fire on 100 men, women, and children. For those who were on the shore, it was their task to go gather them and to retrieve their iwi and scatter the iwi all across this aina so that they would never be desecrated. If you are like me, and I know you are, because you wouldn't be here today if you weren't. If you are like me, you can feel the heartbeat of all the kupuna who sleep in this land. That's what part of the chant was. The chant was, to the kupuna who rests here, know that we are gathered for you. U'aula o ko'apau. You have lived, you have loved, you have breathed before us. And now we are here. We need your mana. We're not going to do this alone. I know there are at least 1,000 kupuna sleeping in this space who don't want their bones desecrated or removed, or adversely affected by the chemicals and toxins that will leach from this space. If we allow them to continue to do it, then we are accountable. So, with that said, ka kau kaleka, share your mana'o, write your letters, send it out to all of the leaders, all of them, even all the way up to the governor's office. Ka kau, e hoi ke aku no. Testify of your aloha for this place and that you feel mana in this place and you feel that this place is worthy of my contributions as a kia'i to guard, protect, and preserve what is left as a legacy for those to.
That's what we need to fight to do, but they're just going to be eager to make money and desecrate this beautiful area. It really hurts my heart to think of that we're not thinking of the 7 generations forward when thinking backwards. we are the ones that the ancestors thought about, danced about, sang about. They've wondered about us, and I think we owe it to the forward generations to think about them too. Thank you.
Have the ability to show the world that it's time to begin to do things right, to become accountable and responsible for each and every one of us as human beings living here on the planet. And we have an opportunity to do that right now, especially here, bringing all this waste. So to take toxic waste from one spot and dump it in another is ridiculous. It should be taken care of in the place it was created. And they have the technologies now that she was just talking about to be able to transmute and transform these waste, which is really just the byproduct of a fire. And that's the proper way I see it. But regardless, bringing this waste here and burying it is not a solution on any level. It's just going to cause another problem we have to take care of. The time now is to solve our problems, not create problems. So regardless, bringing this waste here is just going to be a waste of time.
Much of what we all want to talk about. All right, water is wet. We know that. All right. God bless them if we could bring Helen Keller and Stevie Wonder back and ask them, could you find the worst place on Maui to possibly put the toxic material? They could point over there and say, you can see that that's the worst place. All right, and it is. So let's stay focused, just like that young man said. All right, they will. If we start talking about other things, the powers that be will use that as the distraction, all right, to point to people and say, oh, they're crazy. Don't listen to them. But they're all crazy, all right? We need to stay focused on stopping this right now, all right? And I have to tell you, all right, I'm sorry, but the Aloha spirit may not get it done, all right? It may need to be somebody getting out in the road and just saying, hey, I dropped my keys. It's going to take me a few minutes to pick it up. All right? Where are all the Hawaiian kids in their big trucks?
We have 11 ecosystems here just on Maui. There's no more diverse place on the planet than these beautiful islands. They are sacred. We have to protect them for the world. And we have a really, really, thank you for showing up, because we have a really big responsibility of Kuleana right here. Every one of you showed up after Christmas Day in the morning to be here. Bless you all. Thank you. Everywhere, but there are beautiful people that have been scientists, Hawaiians, collecting mycelium from the upper Ahupua'a ever since the fire happened. They have been collecting, and they are prepared to seed like every batch of burrito that we do, so that gets seeded. The mycelium will heal itself. They will eat the toxins, so we can do so many different things. They're willing to spray it on every property. And again, yeah, someone spoke, like the Army Corps of Engineers or the people that are in charge say, oh, we can't take that much time. No, we have to do this. That's what makes me crazy. Like, we don't have time to put mycelium on the ground. What? Okay. And oh, it's not effective. No. We have to pull every resource possible. We have to show that it is effective. It's been proven. Dumping stuff in the ground and leaving it and praying to God it doesn't leach into the ocean is archaic. It's ridiculous. We do not need to do this anymore. And it's irresponsible. And we have the new technology. You guys, we are creating a new Earth together. We can be the example right here on Maui for the rest of the planet. We can be the example for the world and how it's done correct. Unity. And unity is it. So we definitely need to align with each other. after the meeting that this biochar company was willing to build a facility on their own dime next to wherever all of this stuff is gathered and protected. And they were willing to do that. And they are also it takes about a year. They need about 100 acres to build a facility. They were going to build it on their own dime. And once it's built, it takes about a year to process and make it.
We live in the time of our lives. And of all the things you could do today, maybe more important or not more important, maybe there are things you needed to take care of today or things you wanted to do, and instead you chose to take the time of your life today to show up and to show up here now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Aloha. I want to second that. I want to thank every person that came here. And I just want to point out that this is the beginning, and this is where we have to start. We cannot wait until those trucks come. We did that on Haleakala. That's not going to work. We can't wait till those trucks come full of that ash to block the road. So we need to start now. We need to organize and come up with a plan. Thank you.
Luna, go ahead and line up back there, everybody. Eddie is going to make sure that the way is clear for us. We're going to just do a short processional. I like this suggestion, man. Stop traffic. This is awesome. You really want to get their attention? Yeah? All right. Makakao? All right, let's go ahead and start lining up, everybody. You ready? Show me. Let's go.
Mono will tell you right here as well. Makahiki. And with protocol for that, everyone needs to be really peaceful and conduct themselves peacefully. I cannot stress that enough to everyone here. Okay, yeah, and excuse me, what we're going to do is we're going to take you up to where it's really obvious that these cultural sites, whether they be Ahu, Koa, or Heiau, they are cultural sites that need that respect. And the area to get to them has already been bulldozed. And what's going to happen is more, and you guys just need anybody wants to see the scope of it with their own eyes, and to see the protocol for the Kanaka is to go visit their ancestors, so please respect that, and we didn't want to omit anyone from this crowd who also wants to come up there, so we want to be able to walk up there as one peacefully and with respect, so that we can move this forward. I just wanted to say that note. I don't know if there's anything else, but we're going to start off by taking the kupuna up close in the car, and then we can follow behind the car. So I would even recommend that folks, everybody who's able-bodied, start walking that way to the entrance, and we're going to make our way down there, and we're going to take the kupuna. If you feel like you do not want to go in there and you want to sit here, you're welcome to hang out anywhere here. Out to you folks that, because what I am is an observationist, and then things get past if we don't observe, and we will miss them. And what I want to point out to you guys is what they've desecrated, what they've pushed out of the way. You'll notice they did not take toxic materials that were already there off-site or throw them. There's tires piled within the rubble. There's old cars. There's plastic. There's stuff that's almost as bad as what they're going to dump underneath the liner and piled around it. So take those observations, take pictures yourselves. Yep. Look and see all the opala, which is trash, that's just dumped everywhere in layers. And so if you're going to come up and you're going to do this right, then your track record should be set. I want everyone also on the way up, when you guys are walking in at the entrance to the dump, you're going to see that Alpha does not have any erosion barriers in place, where the water is actually dripping. They have a poor excuse for some on a drain that's below it, what it doesn't go into. We've taken video every single rain. Their truck has been left there for days, every night, leaking out 2,000 or 3,000 gallons on a spot where there was burnt cars. We are currently testing that material and expect to find high dioxins in that. So if you guys are going to make this a site, then clean up the mess that's already there, because that's just going to leach from under it as well. I want you guys to look at the details of what's going on. We have a piece of the liner, we have the felt, we have all the specs, but I want you guys to see for your own eyes what's happening with that and pay attention to the opala around it.
And say aloha to our ancestors.
Yeah, and do not address any of the workers. If respectful, hi, but nothing else. We do not want any pilikia here. We do not want any trouble, any problems. We want to be able to observe and make a statement to the administration that our community is against this. So I cannot stress that enough. I'm going to get off here.
Again, what they're going to do, what we're doing now is, if you want to actually see the dump site and what they're doing, that's what we're doing now. If people want to see it, the workers are going to allow us to go up there right now.
They have to.
They have to, you know. But then again, reminded, don't try to engage with any of the workers or anything. Just, you know, go about our way and do what we have to do.
Yeah.
There'll be time for that later. But focus your energy on who needs to be, who needs to hear these things. They don't.
And also, do not go beyond where the kupuna are going. Do not wander off in the site and put our movement in any kind of it. Stay as a group and let the kupuna and whoever's in charge decide how far we'll go.
The access that's being granted is being granted because there are people here among us who have access to that, through their lineage. And they have to be allowed up there to the sacred site where all these, where all the EV is. So that's what's going on right now, just to give you a little clearer picture. So if you want to, please take a look up there. You can see for yourself. And like she said, it's heartbreaking.
Yes, I'm going to ask him for the respect to stop the machine so we can hear.
mahalo you for giving us the breath of life, blessing all of us as beautiful, gifted, intelligent contributors in this cause to protect and preserve the legacy that our kupuna have left unto us, that we might pass this legacy on to our keiki, our mo'o, and to all wahana ia mai ka wā mahope, to those who will be born in the time to come. We petition you, he vehe vehe no ike au akalani, open and part the clouds in the heavens, pour out your spirit abundantly upon us, that we might be inspired from on high to seek out that which is truth, that we might enrich one another, educate, empower, and elevate one another, that we move together as the body of one in the kapu that is Aloha.
We probably sit at the cornerstone of probably one of the most important decisions to be made in the next 100 years. And I say that because of the shelf life of these toxins. Super sharp cinder. Look at their pit right now. They're about ready to throw down a piece of felt, which I'll show you guys, and an 80 mil rough side liner. We have all the specs. Been built for the right of entry that was given last week on the second TMK. It borders it. You see the work they've scraped off the side of the mountain there? Illegal, just on that level. So we want to show that. But I also want to show that where you see that mountain coming down and you see the hill they took off to build this here. And what was here, it's almost hard to even see it anymore. But that structure, that sacred site on the top of that corner, synchronizes with another one on the other ridge. The trail always has been right where those guys are standing right now. We watched them over the last month desecrate the entire thing. This is a ridge that used to reach to right here. That is no longer available for the kupuna to visit these sites. Wow. Not to mention that, once it's poison, they will never be able to visit them again, ever. It's done. Those poisons with 50-mile-an-hour winds, the wind blows right here. We can show you the dust tests and everything else with it. What is totally unacceptable, we need to demand the diagram for this. No one has been able to show it to us. Apparently the mayor has not even seen it. There's something to be said for that. It's totally different than what they planned. They've shown us a reservoir only here, and I want to point out that if you look on our data sheet, we're going to show you really clear with GPS that in order for them to put a permanent site here, they have to lose that entire mountain. Wow. And I also want to point out that on their data they gave you, it marks that cultural site right on the edge of the liner. So the mass that they're going to have to take off of here, and you say, no, there's no way they could do it. But look at our shots from December 4th till now. There was an entire mountain there. If you look on the other side of that, do you guys see a retainer wall? No. Do you see any concrete, any structural engineering besides a mound on dirt? Zero. I built 5-acre reservoirs. I built from this company, Geotech. They have failed again and again and again. When you see how thick the liner is, that it actually gets air bubbles underneath it, look at them for yourselves. If you walk under it, you can feel the sharp cinder under it. The first time one of their machines goes to drop a burrito, it is compromised, not if. Force them to show you. We will show you their data, their installation sheets. This is sloppy work. All of you who are scientists in this crowd and have the better data, help us build the data more. We need to demand those diagrams, and I don't really have a lot more to say on it, but just look for yourself. Look in the hill there, the amount of trash, tires, They didn't pull none of it, they just moved it out of the way. If we dig in here anywhere, it's loaded with trash. So we think you'd come in, you're gonna do this. Now, a temporary site, you've destroyed the mountain. What is temporary about this? 8 feet of subsoil, that's low permeability. You guys wanna be armed with these facts. This is as permeable as material gets, period.
You get a big rain,
you get a leak in the
this will all
leachate,
wash out to the sea.
it's going
That
into the
hill will
ground.
still be there. It's compacted. It's hard.
So the water table, I want to show you guys. See what's behind you guys? This is the old dump site. And that's why they're saying, oh, the land's toxic already. The reason they didn't put the dump site on this was because they knew this was not the spot for it. They knew the cultural sites were here. You want to know why an archaeological report has never been done on here? Because the county, the state, the dump has been in charge of it for so long before people were akamai that we demand and that we deserve and that the Kupuna and the Kanaka need this. And you should not touch anything without an archaeological report. The most prominent feature in the entire area. No reports, nothing. So if we look at that, and we have to demand that. Again, I don't know what else to say about it, really. You guys have to make those decisions. But with all of it in it, call the mayor, County Minson. I cannot stress enough, the meeting on January 2nd in Wailuku at the County Council Chambers. We've been deflated because we haven't been allowed to speak. We will demand that we all get to speak at that. If we show up in the numbers, not only you, bring your family, bring everyone. We need to overwhelm that meeting and really show that our community is on it. If you see people here that should be here and they aren't, share with them what's going on. Show them yourselves. And
what time? 9 a.m.?
I think it's at 9 a.m. on the 22nd, or no, on the 2nd of January. It's in the County Council Chambers in Wailuku.
So you can, and our county council passed that for the mayor to have the ability to go into agreement with the federal government for that. And that was a special meeting. They decided that they need to have another meeting, which is this one, which is not going to be blasted out and everything, because one of their excuses was, well, nobody really showed up. Okay, no, I'm serious. It was spoken out of the county council's mouths. With one of the excuses that their uhanes have and put on as why. Okay, so they created this meeting January 2nd. It's a discussion forum, further information. They promised the mayor would be present for that meeting.
How about Tamara Powell? Will she be there?
She will be there.
Thank you.
As well as everybody else, because why? That's their kuleana to do that too, and it's also their kuleana that is our kuleana to hold them accountable, for the wrongs that they have already done, and to stop them in their tracks from what can be done.
Why wasn't she there at the last meeting?
Said, we asked them in the discussion before they voted, in regards to mycology and fungi, they said, what is it? You know their answer? We started it. We started preparing for that to be taken care of in the burn site. But because of you guys pointing county council, you guys wanting this fast-tracked option, that has been tabled. Okay? And it is appalling. And these are people, mind you, that we see in our community. You think we're just going to be okay? No. How can we? No. We can't. And they need to be held accountable. So if you remember, and it's in the Tales of the Land, the Battle of Olowalu. Remember the Battle of Olowalu? What happened? It was one of the most bloodiest battles in the history of Hawaii. Kaikili, the warrior king of Maui.
They were jumping off the cliffs.
These rivers ran red with their blood. The oceans were red. The Battle of Olowalu. Here.
All the deaths.
So sacred and profound in our culture and in the history. And now, for the bulldozers to be going behind us, all of that, and it's not only the iwi that are right here in this ahu, and within this ahu pua, it's the mana and the souls of all.
Hawaii.
And that's what needs to be remembered. And that's what we stand for. And just know that we are the rainbow people. It does not matter what color your skin is.
Aloha is our
If you have aloha, that ha, that breath of life, we are, each and every one of us is born with that. So long as we use it in a pono way, you are within aloha and in love. So don't fall for any of that stuff. We stand in solidarity. And we are the rainbow people.
Tears in my eyes, oh, where do I start? It seems like everything is falling apart. Blue canvas sky, but something painted it dark. From the ashes there will grow a garden of hearts. There was no warning, no alarm. Lost everything, but not our faith in God. That's why He sent His only Son to save this holy ground we're standing on. Won't you stand with the Lahaina? Oh, Hana. A million tears for you. Won't you stand with the Lahaina? Oh, Hana. Until the skies are blue. Something just ain't right, the way they cover their own. Feels like they wanted this land all along. Can't put a dollar sign on everything we own. Oh, Mr. Greed, just know you reap what you sow. Won't you stand with the Lahaina? Oh, Hana. A million tears for you. Won't you stand with the Lahaina? Oh, Hana. Until the skies are blue.
A beautiful place on the island of Maui.
Maui, Hawaii.
Maui. 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 Most call paradise on Earth has been tragically reduced to ashes.
There's a house built out of stone, with flowers, walls, and window sills. Tables and chairs worn by all of the This is a place where I feel at
This is going out to the whole wide west side. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Break it down for me. Steady mobbing, rock on. I was just a young boy living in the hub city. Eastside Compton. Back in the days when Ice Cube and Easy had everybody yelling out, boy, you can't with me. Remember Ice-T at the power. Gunshots licking by the hour. We're too short, bumped in every super spot, and told us all how to ride for the West Coast. My people, give me where you at, throw your gloves in the air, and wave them like you just don't care. From LA to the Bay, what you say? All day, every day, any damn day. Take a look around, we got the whole world locked down. But no, don't stop, won't stop, can't stop, the ride or die. That's why I put it down for the West Side. That long ago, no, we were still in 40s out the liquor store. Mama started tripping, so it's time to go. Out to the park with the locusts. Everybody broke, so it's roaching. DJ Quick was the lick, and everybody trying to be from the CPT. You remember? One time tried to clown. We had to burn the whole thing down. One time for my homies in incarceration. I blaze a dime with you for having lots of patience. Two times for my sisters at the county building. I got some Westside love for all you ghetto children. 3 times for my homies that have passed away. Take some cheer for you and pray for better days. One day everything's gonna be fine. But until that day, my only reply is Westside till I'm alive. Give me where you at, throw your gloves in the air, wave them like you just don't care. From LA to the Bay, what you say? All day, every day, any damn day. Take a look around, got the whole world locked down, going on and don't stop, won't stop, can't stop, either ride or die. Got to give it up for the West Side. From Crenshaw to Foothill Boulevard, all I see is rollers and mob cars, Dayton's and Boxstars. All the true hogs is hitting switches with all the finest bitches. Of course, the bounce chickens, don't get it twisted. Ask me what's a real G. Show me a grabbing back against the wall until his knuckles bleed. Screaming death to all our enemies and those who don't believe. West Coast living be the best to me. One time for my homies in incarceration. I blaze a dime with you for having lots of patience. 2 times for my sisters at the county building. I got some love for all you little ghetto children. 3 times for my homies that done passed away. I took some cheer for you and pray for better days. One day everything's gonna be fine. But until that day, my only reply It's arid, easy to right. Tupac Shakur. Rest in peace, homies. This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it out. Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block for dough. Notorious, they got to know that life ain't always what it seemed to be. Words can't express what you mean to me. Even though you're gone, you're still a team. Through your family, I'll fulfill your dreams. In the future, can't wait to see if you open up the gates for me. Reminisce sometime, like they took my friend. Try to black it out, but it plays again. When it's real, feeling's hard to conceal. Can't imagine all the pain I feel. Give anything to hear half your breath. I know you're still living your life after death. Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. What a life to take, what a bond to break, I'll be missing you. It's kinda hard with you not around. Know you're in heaven smiling down, watching us while we pray for you. Every day we pray for you, till the day we meet again. In my heart is where I keep you, friend. Memories give me the strength I need to proceed, strength I need to believe. My thoughts big, I just can't define.